Okay. Um, yeah, welcome. Um, Kicking off with the Stanley Parable um, on Xbox as a um, console release in April this year. I think it's come out before. Choose a screen and subtitle language. Let's go for English. Why do I need a confirm button when I've just clicked English? Have I played this before? No. I think the edition I'm playing is the Stanley Parable Super Deluxe. Ultra Deluxe. Yeah. Um, so adjust the slider until the computer is barely visible. Yeah, I think my monitor's like full brightness. Um, so it's always way down there. The current time, okay. It's a bit long-winded. Surely you just pull that off the Xbox. This has got to be part of the game. Right, there we go. 9:32 p.m. That's my admission. I'm slightly late on the old stream. Okay. I didn't have time to drink my coffee, so I'm drinking my coffee. Now, if you're watching this, and I don't know what my voice is like over the sound of the game. Sort of have to. Okay. Well, my overcomplicated headphones are Bluetooth to the PC, and I can listen back. So it seems okay. But any issues with sound, etc., just give me a shout. What do I want to do? I just begin the game. Let's make a start. So yeah, I got, what told me about this game, Hot UK Deals. It was on there. It was like a fiver instead of the 20 quid, and I thought, yeah,
This is the story of a
have a
man
look.
named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year.
God,
And
I've done
although
a job like
others
that.
might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
I wasn't happy at my
And then one day,
Stanley
something
job.
very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh, okay, right. Oh, so that narration is sort of applying to me. And
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
this is
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I was actually looking for power-ups or a weapon of some kind, not co-workers, but wait, they're all numbered. All these co-workers are numbered. They're just numbers. Yo, Blockblaster, you're back. Hey, hope you're all right. Kicking off with the Stanley Parables, Ultra Deluxe, and this so far it's narrated.
When Stanley came to a set
Me.
of two open doors, he entered the
do?
door on his left.
Well, what if I enter the door on the right? I mean, I don't want to. Okay. Huh. And the door has closed behind me. That's narrowed down my options then, I presume.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a
Oh God,
wave of
PowerPoint.
disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Is this a horror game then, if there's PowerPoint in it? I bet it is. There is no windows.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
What's downstairs? Ooh. I mean, last time it told me to go left and we decided to go left, so it's red. Is that good? Ooh, what's this? There's a car park here.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, This is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
Real Backrooms vibes.
Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one.
Yeah, I might try that secret ending. I might try it.
I'm through with this
after the regular ending.
I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
And he opens his eyes, and he's still there. I'm not surprised.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal.
I'm not sure what
I am sane. I am in control of my mind.
Am I right? Yeah.
I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better.
Allegorical story.
Then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Poor Stanley. No. That can't be it. I want my money back. I'm going to go back on get a refund if that's it. Oh,
all of his
I played a game
gone.
similar.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I played a game where somebody gets murdered, his wife gets murdered, and you constantly redo the last 12 minutes.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yeah, I'm going to go for that. You constantly replay these 12 minutes and the story changes each time, and you learn that little bit extra to thwart the murder.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Well, I know what going downstairs does.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. It's a nice office for a start. It's much nicer than Stanley's office, that's for sure.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him, and so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Yeah, that 12 minutes was good. I haven't completed it, in fairness. It's on my list of stuff to do.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
45, yeah, I know. I just wanted to try.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
I've got to say, this narration really sounds like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is just awesome. It's one of my favourite books and TV series and films. I just love it. Douglas Adams. Okay, I don't know. Very cagey. Let's go down. Yeah? Sure, I've gone up. Didn't really say. Or I wasn't listening.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Even, I don't know if you've seen the TV series. It's old. It doesn't age well. But it ages well in the terms of...
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
So prescient. But better than the TV series, I think, is the radio play. You can get on torrent. Ooh, there's an escape. Oh, I mean, last time I didn't behave myself, I restarted. Oh, temptation to escape. I mean, it's still there. I mean, what if I fake escaped? I could go... I mean, there's no door to close behind me here, so...
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, but of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized, nope, still on board with death.
Okay, no, I'm not. I'm going to the mind control facility, don't worry. Yeah, definitely check out the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I think it's called the primary phase, and it's just so brilliant. It's philosophically as well. It's just good for thinking. Now, where? What?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
This looks like the thing that Charles Xavier uses in X-Men to get inside everybody else's head. I can't remember what it's called. The Thunderdome or something. It's not called the Thunderdome. Now, cameras.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's co-workers, the lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Yeah, the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy certainly is that. There's some really fantastic quotes. Yeah, it's so good. It's really good.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Few of them have got fired. What am I? 427. Where's 427? There. Nothing unique there. Somebody else has got fired. 601. Can't press that anymore.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Wow, it makes you wonder how much we're under control of corporations, media, and marketing, and culture. Oh, is that stairs? That's stairs. Let's go with this. No, can I? No. Is there a big off button then? Yeah, literally. I think in many ways we're actually worse than. Oh, what's the mind controls? Oh, right. Oh, this is the interactive thing. There's a command prompt. Can I hack something?
And when at last he
Sorry.
found the source of the
Got
room's
really
power,
excited then.
he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
There we go. I've severed the mind control. Oh, Stanley.
Blackness
And
and a rising chill of uncertainty.
Was Stanley moved?
Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone?
Yeah, that's exactly.
How had he been freed
I
from
was
the
just
machine's
thinking.
grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him.
It's nice.
This was exactly the way,
fresh air.
right now, that things were meant to happen.
Real life.
And Stanley was happy.
Oh, got an achievement. I don't know if those fire up got 90 gamer points for stepping through that door. Does that show up? Oh, and 180. Is that 180 gamer points then?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, no way. So it is a... I'm sure I've seen the term a rogue game where you sort of...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Right. Really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
That's the quickest completion.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Well, I was thinking that before you suggested it.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
I was actually... No. I'm not. I'm going to go this way, actually. I'm going to go down here. Just because you suggested going back on track, and I don't.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking?
God.
It's clearly... Oh, dear. Would you hold on for a minute, please?
I'm enjoying this, actually.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right.
It's quite meta, this game, actually.
I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
It's one of the oldest sort of concepts, really, in philosophical thought about control, and one that
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to Oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning.
No,
and this
don't
time,
do that.
Suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
God. Oh, dear. No way.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
This is why I didn't complete 12
Stanley
minutes,
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Leave it in a huff. But actually, on this occasion, you know what? I didn't think about trying doors before. I mean, they're all locked. So, where's the lock-picking lawyer when you need him? Oh no. Okay. Have I tried that one? Right, I should have worked out a system, really. No, that one doesn't work. Yeah. Nope. That one. I mean, I presume there. No windows. I've tried that one before.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No,
wait.
No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Okay. Fair old number of options there. I mean, I think this game was out before the Backrooms concept, so I'm loving that like insipid yellow carpet and yellow walls and stuff. Oh my God, though.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Oh, I was just getting into that corridor, but oh well. Right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Locked last time doesn't mean it's locked this time, I suppose. I can't rattle those doors. They were rattling before. Now they're not doing anything. Okay. No. I'm not going in there because there's no exits. I'm like a cat. I need to have lots of exits.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
I didn't know that. I mean, this is an old game then. Okay. So it's taken a long time to port across the console. What's that in there? What's the other game I got recently that's been out for a long time? And it's only just come out on console, but it's been on
I
PC
knew
for
we'd
ages.
missed something. The story. Here it comes.
Wait,
No, wait. Never mind.
What?
Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
No, this isn't. I've walked. Oh, this is confusing. It's not obeying the laws of.
Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all.
Geometry.
Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley?
Correct.
Well, do you know what?
Since
I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
Hey.
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So, good job.
I did put in a lot of hard work. Thank you very much.
No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is.
Jeez,
I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Okay, all right. So that win was taken away from me. I'd rather not be given the win.
I've got a solution.
Wait.
This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm good at that. I like that.
You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way,
that's a good point.
Is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay, now if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Oh. I might have stopped working. Yeah. It may have done. Let's this whole camera thing is new to me. Whoa, that music is loud. Right, okay. Right, that's the camera disconnected. And this is the camera reconnected. I didn't even know you could plug in a camera on Xbox. I'm surprised, actually. Right, no. Let's try and get this on the. Where do I do this stream? Only one stream at a time. I'm trying to wave in the camera. Okay, cool. That's done it. Okay, thanks. Thank you very much. That's sort of what that's Okay, I think so. Give me a shout. Okay. Right. Okay. That's okay. Whoa. I just clipped through a wall. Ah, look at that. Look at it stay there. Right, so. There's got to be ways to do this. Go backwards through it. What happens if I go backwards? Am I doing something daft? It's clicking over there. Back
Cut the music.
Forward.
Go back and look at that fern.
What fern?
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Right. Well, I could screenshot it. I've screenshotted it. It's a bit cheating, isn't it? I mean, a fern's a fern. What? I mean...
Wait, what?
Sorry.
We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Wait, the line, I better not lose that. The line goes through... Oh, I can't go through there.
Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Why won't 104 got fired? And 601, I presume. No, not restart.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
What is going on? Right. Sorry, I'm just screenshotting it. Wondering in which direction. Just any direction. I just said this direction. Unless I was too busy. How many screenshots? It's just repeatedly taking screenshots now. Stop screenshotting. Okay. Oh, this direction was the only option available to me.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
I want our story to be...
no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
The line. It's going up there. I don't want to go up there. I don't know what's up there.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, So I know that each
And
door
how do you
has to
distinguish
lead
between
somewhere,
reality and
which means
illusion?
that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here.
A reverse door.
And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for
Logically
logic.
makes sense.
Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Yeah, I've been watching Westworld recently.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even
How many
know?
restarts have I had?
Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay.
Return to the office, then return to the monitor room.
I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Whoa. Well, there is an idea, the universe, the simulation universe idea, which is different interpretations of it and very much connected to, I think, misunderstandings of quantum mechanics.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah. But the latest sort of forefront of theoretical physics is
when Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his
reality is a
left.
projection of an underlying two-dimensional layer of just information, basically. We perceive a three-dimensional universe, but actually it's just a very simple informational universe. And there's another theory, I think it's called the U8 lattice theory.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
All right, let's have a look at the boss's office then. Yeah, the U8 lattice theory, I think, is this idea that the three-dimensional
Coming to a
universe
staircase,
we perceive is
Stanley
just the
walked upstairs to
shadow
his boss's office.
of a multi-dimensional universe. A bit like the way that, you know, if you held a rock up to the sun, that two-dimensional shadow on the floor is just really a projection of a three-dimensional rock. And a two-dimensional creature might have...
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 4, 5. But of course,
That was going to be
Stanley
my next
couldn't
guess.
possibly have known this.
What have there been? 24 different possible
Yet incredibly,
permutations.
by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing how my brain and presumably yours just remembered the numbers, but not the order, which was also the important bit. Well, yeah, I mean, it's strange, that philosophy, because are there any implications in the way that we live our lives day to day? Probably not, really. I mean, there is for me, because many of the
Stanley walked straight ahead
regular
through the large
stuff
door
in
that
life
read Mind Control
does feel
Facility.
quite meaningless in a way, and so I don't bother engaging. Now, you know what? I've been in that mind control facility before, and I knew the outcome of that, but also the board suggested we go into the mind control facility this time round, so it's almost like I feel like I should do what the board suggests in a weird way.
The lights rose on an
Just
enormous
forfeit
room
control.
packed with television screens.
Did it spark
What
last time?
horrible
I can't
secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself.
I know what
The
was
strength to find out.
Oh, don't tell me this is going to be an absolute repeat of an already.
Now the
one of
monitors
the
jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen.
Got to remember those.
And Stanley,
right,
one
I'm
of
going to put that in the chat.
eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant
Okay.
nothing.
I don't really use the typing chat very much, do I? Just noticed. Yeah. So it might be worth having
This
a look
mind
at
control
104's
facility,
desk, you know.
it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true.
I wonder.
Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept blindly?
I've already had an ending.
No. He refused to
an ending?
believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was
What's
unthinkable.
Weird,
wasn't it?
is I actually
was it even possible?
did work in an
Had he
office
truly
that was
spent his
almost
entire life
identical to
utterly
that
blind
office.
to the world?
I think there's a lot of I worked for a US software company
But here was the proof,
that
the
originated
heart
in
of the
70s, and I think
operation.
there was a lot of
Controls
that was
labeled with
the style.
emotions, happy or sad or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Oh, the coffee's wearing off. I've been up since 6 a.m. and it's now, what is it, 10 o'clock. I had a coffee a moment ago. Wait, I turned it off last time.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
What I love is you need a controller for this game. Oh, these cheap Xbox battery. I bought 4 Xbox batteries for £4. Let's fire this up. Actually, they're not too bad. They last a reasonable. You can't put them in though. Oh my god, that is going to happen at the most inconvenient time. Wait, I'm on battery number 4. I've skipped out 3. This is going to mess up my cycle. This is how sad I am. I've labelled the batteries.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort. I really do.
In fact,
but you need to understand.
This will mess up my cycle. Oh no.
There's so much that machine can do.
Battery
You were
number 3 is
supposed
in
to let
place.
it go,
That is OCD,
turn the
isn't it?
controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star.
Oh.
It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me.
It does
where
feel
we're
more
going,
precious, doesn't it?
what all this
actually, when
means. I
time is limited?
barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated?
Yeah,
All
we
right,
crave
I'm in a good
immortality.
mood. You're going to die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to
Well,
them.
most people
I
do.
erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing
Number
buttons
5.
endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with
Phyllis
it.
Wright
I'm
sense
going
panic.
to put some extra time on the clock. Why not?
2.
These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going
4.
or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at
did
you.
assume that.
Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons. No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. Everything, anything. Something
This is
here
so
will
messy,
save
this
me.
game.
Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm going to destroy it first, so you
I don't know if I've
can't.
said this or not. Or
Take
if
a look at the
battery's
clock,
put out.
Stanley. That's 30 seconds you
It
have
won't be
left
long
to
before
struggle.
AI
30
picks up
seconds
the
until a
voice chat
big boom and
adapts
then
again
nothing.
to
No ending.
what you're saying.
Just
That's
you
it.
being blown to pieces.
There was a game
Will you
on
cling
something
desperately
I
to your
played
frail
where you had to
life?
shout
Or will you
into
let
the
it go
mic.
peacefully?
Grand Theft Auto 5.
Another
You have to
choice.
shout into the
Make
mic
it
to get
count. Or
cashier
it's
to
all
hurry
the
up, I
same to
think.
me, all a part of the joke.
Probably
And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life
not
from
exactly
the moment we
right.
fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Oof. Yeah, there's an episode of Rick and Morty where Morty puts on a headset and enters a whole new life and like lives this life for 70 years and then takes the headset off and Rick's just like, oh god man, I can't believe the choices you made. Like you went for the life insurance policy and it's just really surreal. I love that idea.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his
70
hand.
years of
It
life
was only
just
a matter
killed
of
in a
time before he
5-minute
found the others,
real life
wherever they
window.
were. Just a matter of time.
A bit like that film, Inception, I think it is. That film's epic. All the episodes of Rick and Morty are strange. It's one of my favourites, and I don't even think I've got through the latest season as well.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh, I was going to do that anyway. Now you make me feel like I want to go right, but... I'm Pickle Rick!
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, I was going to look for employee number 104. Yeah, Pickle Rick. That episode freaked me well out.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life from a man denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the floor, he lay prone, paralyzed by fear for nearly a full hour. But when at last he began to move about and survey the situation, he found a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could it mean? Was it a sign of hope for Stanley's future? Alas, it was not. For although this keypad guarded the terrible secret of Stanley's past, it had been assigned a 4-digit code so devious and so random that no man could ever hope to guess it. 2845. Statistically, nearly impossible to guess blindly, ever.
Is this going to be it's British, isn't it? So I'm going to go 999. Let's see what that does. Well, obviously have to
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
I'm going to get booted off Twitch now.
But 2845.
Okay, 2845. I'll behave myself.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Oh, something different, I think. I don't think this has happened before. Yeah, that's that theme of putting on a headset and entering an alternate life. That was in Rick and Morty. There's an episode of Star Trek where they end up on this alien civilization that had died out, and they left all the archive of the entire civilization in this thing floating in space. And Captain Picard has like a 1 second in the real world and this entire lifetime. And then what was the other one? There was another one. Red Dwarf. God, I'm a right sci-fi boffin. Yeah, Red Dwarf.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word Escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
No, I won't. I'm confident.
The door behind him was not shut.
This fictional
Stanley still
reality.
had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Sleep deprivation, too much coffee.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
I will confront my death. It's an inevitability. I might as well just take that inevitability now. Oh. I died. No, I don't know why I thought, oh no. I've cheated death.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Well,
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
I am a bit reluctant about Facebook. I mean, I have an Instagram, but I feel like I'm going to abandon that basically and go to Flickr. But I'm a bit fed up of all the meta stuff. Because the more you read about it, the more...
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever.
I want to get into VR.
What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
And it seems like the only really affordable way to get into VR is the Meta Thing 2. I can't remember what it's called, the Meta something 2. There is a 3 due out this year, I think. But I just don't like it. I just don't like the whole Facebook having to give you credentials to them. You have to set up a real account, I think, as well. You can't just set up a false account. You have to really give all your information away. But I saw a really damning criticism of Meta recently, and it was like Zuckerberg posting a picture of him in the Meta universe, and it was like, you know, there is virtual reality out. I think there's Rec Room and stuff like that, and it was just, yeah, that's it, the Meta Quest 2. There's already VR stuff, and it was like Meta have put some really, like, just minimum effort into this universe that they've created, in terms graphically anyway. And I think the developers then hurriedly released a sort of a new image screenshot of what's in the universe. But yeah, I'm funny about this whole NFT stuff as well. I'm really cynical, just because of like these artists that have sold NFT tokens, and then people.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Oh, interesting, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, it's. I don't know. I don't know if to jump into that meta stuff or not really. In terms of the practicality of VR, I'm still waiting because it still seems very much in its infancy. But some companies just literally made these contact lenses that you can put in with alternate reality on those, and that's quite a cool idea, actually. I was just imagining, I can't imagine where the battery goes. I was sort of imagining that the battery goes up your nose and then the wire to the contact lens goes through your tear duct, which is grim. No, I'm not going for that if that's the case. Now, this has got a bit strange. Solitaire, employee database. Let's find 104. Was it 104? Oh, it's just turning these off. Oh, I could have had a bash on Solitaire. The very first concrete piece. The set of the 2 open doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction of this room past. Yeah, I very much doubt it. I mean, probably the batteries are built into the contact lenses. I think they've been like something like 8 years in development or something. That's a long time for investors to get paid off. The blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the 2 doors was the first part of the game that was built. This is like a museum to the game so far. It's quite surreal, that. Yeah, I think that was just my crazy horror mind getting carried away with what was going on in that. Oh, there's credits. Right. 431, 436. And nothing through there. Let's have a look. Be nice to just find another employee at the office. This is quite strange, actually. It's got the game's captured itself as an art exhibition. Yeah, I was sort of hoping that the battery would be, something to do with a salination of the eyes, or I mean, that'd be pretty cool. But what's crazy mad, is these contact lenses are working by all accounts. People have been holding them up on a stick in front of their eye. Sure, you could probably YouTube it, like just alternate reality contact lenses or something. On a battlefield fighting aliens, the action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realised shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting point, actually. Yeah, so there are people alive today that when they were younger, like, radios were really becoming mainstream, or they didn't have TVs in the household, and we've gone from that point now to now being able to put contact lenses in our eyes and live in an alternate reality, or an augmented reality, if you like. How do you make a JRPG? What is the difference between a duck? There's a game I was playing the other day, and it had my Xbox friends. I was playing it single player, and I was thinking, how are all my Xbox friends online at the moment? I thought it was like a confession here. I had a few friends when we did driving tests. We wouldn't tell each other driving tests, because what happened was there's about 20 of us knocking around. Quite a few of them deliberately went and sabotaged a couple of people's driving tests. So I kept mine well secret. And I was playing this Forza Horizon 4, and I could see everybody's Xbox names on there. I was thinking, have they all just joined in? Like, are they all? But what it did was take the names of friends and put them onto other players' vehicles. I thought that was pretty cool. And the game that there's nothing to stop the Xbox or any other games integrating that, and just name it. There's no reason why you couldn't see a headstone in this game with an Xbox friend's name on it, because I think it could access all that info, which would be quite surreal, really bring you into the game. Yeah, this is different type of game. I mean, one of the difficulties, yeah, it is on. It is really, it just took me ages to think. I was like, well, I'll go and beep at Dan, and I was doing that for ages, and I was thinking, well, what's going on here? And then I realised they're all AI. I don't know, something obvious would have given it away, but yeah, one of the difficulties I've had with the Xbox, because I used to be a PC gamer, and then I moved over to console for sociability, really, to when people come around, and just you can't really socialise on a personal computer. And yeah, I was quite disappointed with the selection of games. It was all like racing games, first-person shooters, some sports games, and I've never really been a fan of sports games, to be honest. I'll have a bash of FIFA, but all the other stuff like NFL and things like that. No, not
for all his button pushing. Does that sound plausible?
Narrator's back.
Let's see. Stanley walked through the green door. Now then, this elevator for sure will get him right back on track to where he was supposed to be in the story.
Yeah, so I was quite disappointed with the selection of games. And I mean, this is back in the day of the 360, I suppose. But even still now, predominantly the game genres are all first-person shoot, and it all involves running around shooting. Most games, even though they say they're not FPS, boil back down to that, disappointingly. What was I playing on the other night? was something anyway. And it was just like, oh, great shooter. I mean, you do get role-playing games. I got personally not much time for that, but yeah, I think it Army of Two as well. It Takes Two is pretty cool, and I think there's an Army of Two. I do like those sort of co-op style games. They're pretty good. Yeah, I've got to say. I mean, multiplayer is fantastic, and that really keeps the game alive. I've just got Mad Max, and it's a 2015 game, but already the servers have switched off, which is a bit frustrating. And I think the game then has a limited life. And on my, I think my Wii U, the servers are still on. I don't know how old that console is, but I'm sure I had a game. Did I play on that? I could be making that up. It might be sort of unofficial servers. I don't know if this is still the game or if this is the credits. Option 1, Option 2. Oh, it's lovely and it's quite surreal. I've got a Minecraft world, I think, still. I mean, it's like a survival world, that open server, yeah, I've got a museum in that of the Minecraft world. So yeah, I do appreciate a good museum within a game. Yeah, this is really weird. Yeah, maybe it's the unofficial servers. I know I've got a load of stuff on my routers to redirect, like official servers to unofficial stuff. So maybe that's what's happened. I don't know. Oh, still up. Must be something else then. But yeah, I think it's great. There is a hack for the Wii U. I can't remember what it's called. It's definitely worth hacking the Wii U. And you have to download something from the App Store, and I think the cheapest game was like Donkey Kong or something like that. You have to download like an N64 game or something, and then you can run this hack. And I don't think you can buy new games off the store.
These two.
But even
How
the
they wish to destroy
now,
one another. How they wish to control one another.
which is brilliant.
How
I
they
think that's
both
really
wish
well
to
done
be
too.
free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
It does worry me
No,
that
perhaps not.
in the
Sometimes
90s,
these things
80s,
cannot be
90s, you bought a
seen.
game and it was your physical copy.
But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Turn off your Xbox. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you.
Oh, I mean, should I pause it?
Don't let...
Oh, I've died. Yeah, you bought a physical copy of a game, you plugged it in, it was yours to keep, sort of thing, and nothing could change online to stop that as such. And nowadays, it just feels like you don't really. You're at the you're in the complete hands of all the tech giants, really. I got a Samsung Gear VR headset, and I mean, it's not. I really
now,
liked it.
Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo?
And Samsung just
He
pulled
could
the
no
plug on
longer
it,
recall.
and now it's worthless. And it's so frustrating that well, they updated my mobile phone.
No
forced me
matter
to
how
take this
hard
update.
Stanley
Now it
looked,
doesn't work
he
with a
couldn't
headset.
find a trace of his co-workers.
And it's so frustrating that things like that can happen. I bought a physical Xbox game, shoved it in the Xbox, and it downloaded the entire game off the web, so it just didn't even bother reading the disc, really. And at any point, they could have a license disagreement or anything, and it just disappears. And it happens with music as well. I've noticed it happening on YouTube Music, which I use, but people told me they've got things I think it was on iTunes. Somebody bought something, and then it just got deleted. I think on Spotify you sort of pay for a service. And then
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Well, I like to click on stuff. Yeah, so nowadays, really, you're totally in the hands of new content. I'm drawn to it. Totally in the hands of the tech giants, really.
New content?
And have
what does that mean, new
ownership
content?
over nothing, really. So Microsoft could fall out with a games development studio, and the studio just presses a button and that's it. The game is removed from your Xbox. So it's weird to me.
And thank you for playing the Stanley Parable
in terms of
Ultra
retro
Deluxe.
gaming, I don't
As
know
you
if
may
the
know,
Xbox
the Stanley
will be
Parable
usable
was a video
40
game
years'
released in
time.
2013 on home computers. After receiving
That's
critical
why I
and
had to
commercial
reuse it.
success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable
this
Ultra
is
Deluxe,
trouble.
a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
I think, it's not just digital.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Physical music, on CDs and cassettes and vinyls.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere? Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
You've always really bought a right to use that content, not ownership, if you know what I mean, technically.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Give me the content.
All right.
The jump circle.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle? Is that it?
I wasn't able to jump.
Surely
before.
that's not all the new content. There has to be something
is
else,
exciting.
right?
I can jump. Oh my god. Oh, I'm loving this. Wait. I'm depleting my jumps. But I can only jump in the jump circle. God, I'm simple-minded. Should I save those jumps? I think... What if I... I'm doing burpees. I'm liking this. Do I get extra points for doing a burpee? I'll just stick to the regular jump then. Oh, well, look. There we go. I've depleted all my jumps. I worked hard for those jumps.
Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive.
Blaster, what are you playing on
It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content.
No,
and
wait. Yeah, what sort of games are you into then?
Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
I don't know if I'm ready for whatever.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what
God,
happens
it's
when
just set
greedy
you up for
video game
disappointment,
developers
yes.
with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started
It's
on the
very
level
meta,
of
isn't it?
craftsmanship
It's a
that's gone
real
into it. In
reflection
fact,
on
I'm
the
looking right now at the
gaming
game's
industry.
achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated
So
and
I
I'm
had
offended,
a
and
go
I
on
intend to find
either
these people
Destiny
on
or
Twitter
Destiny
and
2.
hold them personally accountable.
I think it was
It's my
free
fault,
on
Stanley.
something
I built up too
like
much
the Google
anticipation around the
Chrome
new content, I'm
platform
afraid.
or
It
something
could
like
never
that.
have lived up to such expectations. If you're
So
still
I
with me,
misjudged it, I
why
think,
don't
because
we
I
just
had real
reset the
difficulty getting that
game,
working.
and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is
I've
really
not come
about.
across Vampire
No frills,
Survivors.
no gimmicks.
I haven't
Just
played
you
on
and me
Minecraft
having a
actually
great time
since
together
the
like
last
always.
couple of updates.
What do you say,
I haven't
friend?
looked at my world yet. I hope it's in good condition. Somebody, I created like this little like area that when you log into this open server, you can't really get out until an existing member. I don't even know if there's existing members anymore. Let you out, and then somebody's managed to break
Stanley,
through it.
come
I was well
over
impressed.
here in the vent. I want to
It's really
show
cool.
you something.
I don't know how they managed to break through it.
Oh, you don't
I
want to
must
see
have
the
been a
cool
lot of
surprise I
tenacity.
made for you? Well, fine.
I do
You're
like
a dork
yeah,
anyway,
no, I
so
do.
who
Go on,
cares?
have a look. Don't get sulky.
Oh,
Look.
never mind. You're not a
But
dork.
yeah, I do love Minecraft. That's my. Well, it was my go-to. I think I put more hours in Minecraft than anything else. I'd like it if Minecraft had proper, sort of. I know it's a block game, and that's what gives it Minecraft. But I'd love it if you could have sort of proper voxels and low,
Okay,
smooth.
you remember how cheap and
curves and
unsatisfying
things like
the
that.
new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something
only reason
special
I got the
and
Xbox
tucked it away
Series
here where the
X,
game's developers won't find it. Just our little
is
secret.
to have
Take a look.
Minecraft in I was about to say HDR, but not HDR ray tracing. I really wanted to play Minecraft in ray tracing, and it transpires that they're not going to bother with it on the Xbox now. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So RTX, I suppose, is the NVIDIA.
I call it the memory
implementation
zone.
of ray
It's where I've been
tracing, maybe?
storing all my
Don't know.
favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life
who's the
whenever I
competitor to
want.
NVIDIA?
Experiences
ATI, is
like
it?
the launch of the Stanley Parable on
Don't know if
PC.
they do ray tracing. But yeah, I mean, so the only way forward for ray tracing in Minecraft is the PC. Oh God, I played Minecraft in VR on the Gear VR, and it was just mind blowing. But when I was doing that, I had an old phone, and the Gear VR would overheat in 30 minutes, and that's all I got. But I would love Minecraft ray tracing VR. Oh God. I'd have a 24-hour marathon.
You see,
on
Stanley,
that.
doesn't the memory zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap Xbox port?
Oh,
Remember back in
how could
October of
Microsoft- how could the
2013 when the
PlayStation
game
5
originally
do
launched?
ray
Back
tracing
then,
on a
video
Microsoft
games had
game?
integrity. Back then, it all meant something.
I'm upset
Oh,
now.
the waste.
Oh, VR, RTX Minecraft would be just, yeah. I mean, it's not just about ray tracing though; it's about those shaders as well. Oh, my camera's froze. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm frozen. Let me figure this one out. Last time unplugging it and plugging it back in did nothing. So, live streaming is already in progress. Fair enough. Yeah, I could, in theory, try a different camera. I don't know when it'll start working again. What got me back into Minecraft was a guy, so I'm going to plug this guy, and Oh, I'm struggling to remember his name now. I think I'm just really, really tired. I think I've covered it up by coffees. What is his name? It's not tiredness. It's like old age as well, or something. Um, he always starts off his YouTube channels with when you've played on the oldest anarchy server in Minecraft. Oh, I'm really struggling to. I think I follow him on Twitter or something. But he's absolutely brilliant. And he talks about the oldest anarchy server, FitMC. That's the one. Absolutely love watching his stuff, and it really just got me reinvigorated in Minecraft. I watched another guy who likes always. He's famous for speedrunning from enemies, and he cheated on famously cheated. This is nice.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that,
To the point where I was
Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3. It was all of them. And now, it's nothing.
I won't go into
it's no games at all.
Details,
it isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore.
Twitch.
It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an
no,
hour
what's
of
going on
new
this
elevator
webcam?
content.
Slagging off one of the biggest streamers ever is probably not a good idea, so I won't do that. Now, let's have a look. Let's think about this twist of the Stanley Parable. I don't know what's going on. Oh, it's yeah, okay. Seems to be working again. But yeah, I just love this FitMC videos. He makes everything so dramatic as well, and just it just really adds. Oh, it just really inspired me to get back into Minecraft, and actually I joined a few.
Here's another
anarchy
moving
servers,
passage, this time from
GameSpot.com.
GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the Xbox. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
For Charlie Kaufman's Spike Jonze's film adaptation, which gently mocked the ways in which so many films manipulate audiences with formulaic plot twists and situations in which characters learn huge life lessons while simultaneously moving me with its formulaic plot twists and situations in which characters learned huge life lessons. Okay, the Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and in other systems too, like our workplaces and our families, and a game that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. Going the wrong way has never felt so right. There we go. Interesting. Saying that, I downloaded an old film that was sort of the antithesis of that way of making films. I can't remember what it's called, but the character always says, "Buongiorno, Principessa," and it's about the lack of a character development. I've not come across that piece of wall that's in 2B22.
These were simpler times, Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no, oh God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
But that's what I mean about FitMC. I bet he made that, like, that video just felt like the most dramatic thing. You know what I mean? And it's just a piece of wool. But there's quite a few where there's like odd things that have happened, like the dragon egg. I think it, like, there was never a dragon egg on the server, and then there was, and then there was, like, the server was absolutely overrun with dragon eggs. That was pretty cool. That was one of the funniest videos. Yeah, there's lots of little things like that. I just really.
Okay, let's see what this one says. All day long. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I?
Let me think about this. Going to Twitch. I may have disconnected.
You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can.
I did do a stream
this
for
is actually
about
quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest,
3 hours.
I always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather
saying.
terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure.
What's frustrating is when you don't like something,
perhaps
and you really want to leave a nasty review.
Isn't quite as sterling
and then,
as I
that was the backroom stream. It was terrible. But I really enjoyed that game, and I want to play it again. And I won't play it again, part 2, until I stream it. But I was just like, I was so traumatized by how dreadful that stream was. I'm just like, I don't want to play it again. Yeah, when you want to leave a bad review and you're like, right, I'm going to get this like, eBay seller or Amazon shop or somebody, and then you go to leave your bad review and there's like 20,000 reviews and it's just going to get lost in this sea of positive reviews, and it's like, no, that guy's really messed me over. And your one negative review is just going to make no impact whatsoever. That is frustrating. On the Play Store, when an app doesn't work on your particular device or something like that.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
There's a skip button.
A skip button?
I skip a lot of games.
Well, yes.
It's terrible.
Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Got a skip button. Wow. I mean, that is good customer service. I will commend the Stanley. This is it's just so surreal. I like the way that this is a great feeling. It's similar to the Portal games. I like the way that you just sort of peek around the back of something and you can see lots of construction work and everything, and around the front it all looks pristine. And I love that way of.
And here it is.
I don't know.
Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in.
It's a work in progress.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes.
Exactly that.
It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about, I know.
Oh, come on.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it, and I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking and thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie 9's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie 9. I have no idea
in the film,
who they are.
Interstellar,
Did it ever really matter?
the way they go down to a
Here
planet.
I'm fixating
because
on
gravity is so
tiny negative
strong
thing that anyone ever says
planet,
about me.
when
The
by
merest
the time they
mention
return
of one
to
of
the...
my imperfections,
I'm really giving a spoiler away for anybody who's not watched
wild
Interstellar.
and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful... Oh, Stanley.
It's just a bit freaky, this idea.
You're back.
How long has it
oh
been?
My goodness, I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week.
A
or 2
week?
weeks. I've been sitting here all that time, just sitting here, not a single
He's
person
going
to
to
speak with.
lose
And
his
you
mind,
think
this
that's
little
just
AI.
how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It is...
Oh my God, you'd think you'd learn to just shut up.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through.
A new movie
I've had
I haven't seen.
so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year.
I have seen Lightyear.
One place and not move for one entire year.
And
Let me describe it for you.
Basically it
to
is
begin
that
with,
premise,
there is only regret.
I think
there
it
is only
was
the
on Disney
turning
Plus.
wheel
I might
of
have had it
missed
on the background.
opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for
It's
the
a big
longest time, Stanley.
step up from Toy
Days,
Story for sure.
Months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that
It looked
feeling
good.
had begun to subside, what took
I've
its
watched
place
the whole
is what I
movie,
can
and
only
all I
describe
can say is it
as the
looked good.
collapse
It
of
looked
every moment I have ever experienced my entire
That's
life.
the trouble with
all
watching
of
a
them
movie like
collapsed
it
down
came
into
in.
a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart.
Disney
It
Plus,
was
I
an
think, is
impossibly
just
rich
past Netflix
wellspring
as well,
of both
isn't it?
delight and disgust simultaneously.
Oh my God. He's his own worst enemy, this guy. Where is he? About years have passed by then. Wonder what the outside world is like. What's that? Oh. Is that a smoke detector? That button's coming out very slowly. when was that plant died now as well? Was that alive before? There's a Portal 3, which is like an unofficial modded version that involves a third portal gun. I've been YouTubing about. And this third
But they
portal
didn't
gun is a time
understand the
gun.
game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic...
This is one of the advantages of gaming on the PC, though, is you get all these awesome mods for games, which you just don't get on console. And I mean, I was going to plug in my keyboard and mouse for this game, actually, so it's just like, well, I might as well have just stuck with a PC.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
He's losing his mind.
Never the end, is 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 never the end.
And if all AI loses their minds eventually. Yeah, there's a few games that have started off as mods as well. Just entire games in their own rights that began life as a mod. And I vaguely get the impression that Fortnite began life as a mod. I think it was Fortnite, or maybe PUBG. Wow, this has got to be far into the future. These buildings become dilapidated. Oh, eventually the walls will turn to dust and I'll be able to just walk out. Wow, that button needs some contact cleaner on there. Oh, this is what's going to happen to the planet after the humans wipe themselves out due to global warming and nature will just take over again. God, that's a bit depressing, isn't it? But I seem to have got myself yeah, okay, that's all right. Parkour. I should put my Twitch stream chat onto the screen where the webcam is. That would make the most sense, I suppose. There we go. Oh, okay. All right. Maybe it's PUBG. Let's have a look. Did PUBG start as mod? Yeah, the original PUBG is among the most played mods for Armored 3. I don't know. There's some sort of battle royale style game that started off as a mod. Oh, buttons on the floor now. Wow. Wow. Okay. Sorry if I'm mumbling. I don't know what. I mean, that's what I do. I mumble. I don't know really. I mean, this desert's vast. I don't know where to go. Yeah, I suppose I'm mumbling because I'm tired. What time is it? Oh, it's 11. I've been gaming non-stop for 3 hours. I'm just gonna take a direction, and there we go. Another ending, or pseudo ending, I think. Wow. That clock's off to my clock anyway, and I set the clock at the beginning of the game. Now that employee that got fired.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply
Was it
missed a memo.
104? So, hopefully, I mean, these are high numbers. More new content. I mean, I think I know how the others
You
pan
notice
out.
my sign? Yes, I have something very exciting to show
Okay,
you.
cool. Do you remember that pin code as well? I think there was a 5 and an 8 and a 4 and a 2 in it. I've probably just thrown you off now. I think it was 8245. I think. Is Google talking to me? That's strange. I didn't ask it any. I'm sure Google just said it's been thinking about its favourite jam.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley parable and about how roundly...
Say again? No. It's weird.
disappointing this
It's not
ultra
supposed to
deluxe
strike
version
up a
has turned out to
conversation with
be.
that speaker.
The
That's a bit
original
weird.
Stanley parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that
It's answering me
legacy.
back now
So
as well.
forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh. Oh.
Yes,
Wow.
you see, isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new...
Okay, Google. Stop talking to me. That seems to have done the
territory
trick.
will cover with a fully fledged
Weird.
sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
This is nice. I mean, this is a bit more colourful, a bit more jazzy than
Calling
it was
it the
before.
Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe?
Get into this.
What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Okay. I had no idea that this was coming. The reassurance bucket. Okay. The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Hear your name in the game.
For the Stanley Parable
Okay.
2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course,
I don't know why I'm getting so
first and most
excited by this
obvious
button,
answer
but
is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
is this where it says something rude? Let's try it.
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final
Right,
game,
that's fine.
this button will
I mean-
say your name, whatever name that is.
Well, that is my name,
Here,
so
let's have you role play
it's
as
worked
Jim
out well
to really
for me.
simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim.
confused me.
Falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities
like
as
being John
Jim, and as
Malkovich.
Jim, watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you
But
feel
I
it
am Jim.
deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
Jim.
Yes, you see? What a thrill, what a rush. That was you. The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
Jim.
Okay.
It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only
can't
new
tell if
feature
this-
in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth
Has
the
this
money.
game
Let's take a break
got my
from the Jim
name, or
button. I'm
does
too
everybody get
emotionally
Jim?
drained from all of this personal validation.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. No, wait, it's narrating my mind, not Stanley's mind. Oh, this is so this game. Right. That's that button. I don't know if I want to go into another room after all that.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Oh, this is surreal.
An epilogue would be
Oh,
fun,
it is Jim
wouldn't
for
it,
all.
Stanley?
Okay.
Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Infinite hole. Oh, free achievement. Wow, why not? I thought that's the sort of stuff that this game was mocking, actually. Somebody
now, here's
told
something
me
special. You remember
you can
that
get an
broken
achievement
test achievement
by
that
not
got left
playing
in
the game
on
for
accident?
a
Well,
few
I'm
years.
developing a technology to simply give you the achievement.
bit
Yes,
weird.
you see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's a... Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
It knows how to wind you up, this game does, doesn't it? It just properly... I really thought I'd earned that achievement.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
I looked at my gamer score the other day, and I think I've got 20,000 or thereabouts, 25,000, and I was feeling pretty proud of myself. I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. And I then Googled who's got the biggest gamer score, and it's just immense.
Collectibles.
Over 3
now
million.
It's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
What happens if you touch one of those? Oh my god, this is weird. Yeah, I'll take that. 1. That's of 6. For the whole day on a Tuesday.
God, it really
whole
is the
day.
worst
Yeah,
when you
I mean,
collect everything in a video game and then they give
Might
you a
try
big
that.
fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Yeah, I mean, so the guy, when I sort of searched him up on Twitter, and the guy...
You know what? Let's bring the jump
made a
circle
tweet.
back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump
I've already
circle?
spent all my jump.
Oh,
Yeah.
well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
Oh, great. It's just, it really sets you up for a disappointment, this game. Yeah, oh, really, 10 years. Wow, that's mega. I mean, God. So once I will set myself a calendar appointment to revisit it in 10 years, no sooner.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Get well someday and happy 12th birthday, Stepney. So I'll go for the get well.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, Stepniece, it is. Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, No, I've made my decision. We're moving
Merch. God, I hate the word merch. It sounds like, I don't know, it just sounds like somebody's making a sound when they're just about to vomit. Merch. And just everybody uses the term merch. I just can't stand it. Oh, it's awful. Yeah, so that guy who got the gamer score, I think he had 3,333,333 points, right? So he posted about it recently, and then I went and searched him, like proper stalking him now on the Xbox achievements website, and yeah, he'd got something like an extra 6,000 points in the space of 3 days. And when I looked at my points, I got 25,000 points over 10 years or 12 years or something. And I basically worked out he'd done in 3 days, which had taken me 2 or 3 years to do. I was just like, that is commitment.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Infinite hole. I like the idea of that. No bedrock. Let's go.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button
Battlefield 1943 and looked at my stats for that. And it was absolutely shocking how much time I spent on that EA
now, I don't mean to be a bother, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Player statistics tracker?
Okay, Stanley. I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is.
Battlefield tracker.
Infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem.
It just looked like Battlefield 1943 is on there.
Heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Battlefield 5, I don't think it tells me how much time I spent on there. It is a bit shocking. Oh god, 118 hours as assault class. That's too bad.
Great. Now, yeah. I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
I don't know where that quote's coming from. Fall down the hole again.
Oh, for heaven! You see, I was right. The problem
glad
is
you're here, Blaster.
The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that
Yeah, it
not
wasn't
infinite.
an infinite
Well, I
hole.
suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button.
Oh, I don't
and
know
come
about
join me
Terraria.
up above.
I want to enjoy it. People have
Had
said to
enough?
me,
I'm positively
if you
thrilled.
like Minecraft, you like
I
Terraria.
really do have so much more to show you and to talk
And
about.
I've watched
and I've had
YouTube
enough of the hole
videos
for a
trying to
lifetime.
persuade me on Terraria. But I just can't get into it, and I don't know what it is. I don't know why I can't.
Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the
I don't
hole.
like the swinging
If this
axe
starts to become
mechanism.
a
There's
thing
something
that-
about Terraria that just...
Wow. Okay.
It's messy as well.
Yes. I'm
Yeah,
starting
I
to
mean,
become extremely
people say,
certain
and
that the
by
hole
all
is not
accounts, I
only
should
not
enjoy
infinite,
it.
but that it's
I feel
growing
like I was
steadily
doing
less and less
the Robert De
infinite.
Niro face.
I suspect that
People
I'm
tell
starting
me
to
I
hit
should
the
enjoy
point
it.
where it's no
Yeah,
longer
that's not
feasible
a
to
good
call the
Robert De Niro
hole
impression
infinitely
whatsoever.
deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability
But
and
I
marketing.
don't enjoy it.
What's
don't know
going
why.
on here?
You know, I feel like
Stanley,
I haven't given
I
it
have
enough
no
chance
explanation
for
for
the
the
more I play
uncertain
on it.
nature of the hole's length. Here,
What have I got it on?
let's
I think
try
I've got it on the
something.
Wii U.
Let's pop back
I've
up to the top, and
Maybe
we'll
get
see
it
if
on the
it gets any
tablet,
shorter.
PC, the Xbox. I've really gone all out on trying to enjoy it.
Well, there it is.
Yeah.
The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point. It's more of a concavity, or even a very aggressive divot.
It just looks really complicated. I think it's a lot more sort of campaign-esque than the freedom of Minecraft. I think Minecraft really is just make your own game up type thing, even though there are things you can do. But I get the impression with Terraria there are certain bosses that happen at certain levels of your progress. Like I said, I've watched stuff about it because I was like, well, why aren't I enjoying it when people are telling me it's good? But it just looked messy, really. Oh, I've been through there. But yeah, I think I will. I think I'll have a go. Yeah, I will. I'll have a bash. It's on the to-do list. But then I've got to say, what did I consider? I said to myself, I'm definitely going to have a go on Space Engineers. Because there's just so many games that I'm just nowhere near. Oh, I've been here, haven't I? Yeah. Nowhere near. And I know that I'd love them as well. Kerbal Space Program, I mean, I had to go on that. Elite Dangerous. There's just so many games that I've got on the go to have to go through. I mean, this is why I quit my job and decided to just play games for a year or two, really, because there's just so much to get done. Priorities in life, honestly. Oh, Kerbal is brilliant. When you first launch, and it's not like that serious, but it's serious
Stanley,
enough.
This is fairly awkward.
To
I
make
hate to
you
do
feel
this, but
so proud
before you leave,
when you
really should
eventually
go
get
to the
something into
bucket
orbit,
exhibit.
or to
you see, there's a
orbit
surprise I was going
another
to spring on you later,
moon.
and it
It's just
involves the
incredible.
bucket. And I really do hate to break the illusion, but it's important that you go see the bucket, okay? All right, I'll get out of your hair now.
I don't recall seeing a bucket, or do I? No. Yeah, Kerbal is great fun. Again, look out on G2A and all the alternative sort of key code sites for a great price on it. I think that's why I got it for a great price, because it was like a couple of quid, and I just think, oh,
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable
bucket.
was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket.
Reassurance
You see,
bucket.
Stanley,
Okay.
anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long
Okay.
for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that
Yeah,
would be? Yes,
that is the
the
thing with
bucket is the perfect
these sites.
solution. Come on,
I
give it
mean,
a
it's not
try.
like, it's not like cracks or anything like that. It's not software cracks or key gens. They are legitimately obtained keys. That's my understanding, anyway. Um, I think the yeah. I mean, G2A is the site I tend to go for. Kerbal Space Program. Oh no, there's an expansion pack out already. Yeah, really worth a punt. Really enjoyed Kerbal, KSP. Um, what's going on? 2 to 3. I feel like doing the same thing myself. Actually, I'm really. Should we all just take a toilet break? Because I'm really. It's been like 3 hours of. Yeah, I'm going to pause the game for a second. Yeah, good call. Right, I'll make a commitment here. Not return for like 5 minutes. Okay, that should give everybody time to do what they need to do. I'm squirming here, man. This is terrible. Right, I am pausing it. I'm going to turn my mic off as well. Yo, I'm not sure how much time has passed by. I blame that lack of awareness of time passing on the Stanley Parable. I presume 5 minutes went by though. I've made myself a coffee, but it's decaf. But it might keep me going for a little bit. I'm so tired. But I'll muscle through in the name of commitment to streaming on Twitch. This is my Where's Wally mug. I want to take a photo of it and publish it online and try and get somebody to point out whether or not Wally's actually on the mug, because I've had this mug for a year and a half now and I've never found Wally, and I just want to know, I don't know who's made this mug, whether or not it's just some sadistic joke, because I can't find Wally. Am I Wally? I'm the Wally, yeah. Okay, so we're at the bucket of reassurance. I can't. I've tried. I've had the mug for 18 months. I can't find Wally. It drives me mad. I don't know what the focus is like on that camera, but it's not on this mug. I know what Wally looks like as well, but I'm not very good at the Where's Wally. I admit that. I'm not very good. Maybe I don't know what Wally looks like. No, I do know what Wally looks like. It's just not on this mug. Oh, it's only 50p, but oh. That's probably why it was 50p. They probably made a batch of these Where's Wally mugs and forgot to put Wally on it. Sorry, I was Tutti Frutti. I'm glad you've said the non-censored version of that word. So I don't know. I think I have to moderate chat, which is ridiculous. But yeah, you're welcome. And I'm sorry to hear about the somebody being beheaded in the toilet. I hope they get their head back and all is well for them. I hope it wasn't fatal. Yeah, I reckon that's what Poundland is. I bought a load of pens from Poundland, and all the blacks were like red, and all the reds were blue, and it was just like, that's why they're so cheap. Somebody's just mismanufactured a load of pens, right? Now, we found the bucket of reassurance, and it did feel reassuring, actually. So the narrator was quite right. I'm not sure where this door will lead us. Okay, there's the answer. So yeah, I don't. I'm sort of at a loss now as to. It's a nice room, actually. Reminds me, I had a tour of Vodafone's headquarters. Which, if you ever get a tour of like one of the telecoms operators' headquarters, I don't know why. If they like have a competition for the public or something. And that place, this reminds me of that place, and that place was absolutely epic, I have to say. All those big, you can imagine the security, it was just phenomenal, and this place totally reminds me of that. I just don't know what to get. No, don't give it away. Blue and white stage. That was quick. Wait, there's several blue and white stages. Is it? You couldn't have done it that quickly, could you? It's taken me. Well, I haven't done it. I can't see him. Anyway, look. I've just lost 2 views because of that. No, but nice one. Nice one, Spofty. I don't know. I'm going to have to double check that when I've got my vision back. Now I'm sort of relying on Blaster here for a tip on what to do. unless the narrator said what to do, and I during the toilet break. Oh, was that it? Just grab the bucket.
Can you feel it?
God.
The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh, okay. All right. So we're not actually in the Stanley Parable 2, or we are? Oh, no, I presume we are. All I've got is crouch. I can't jump or anything. Yeah.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Okay. Oh, yes. Wasn't the thing that prompted the bucket retrieval was not that way. It was up a set of stairs. What's really strange is sometimes when you've been playing one game, I find I sort of blur the mechanics of that game into the game I'm playing. Like, I've just been playing Rage 2. I don't think it's anything special, but I'm really loving it. And I just got a sort of a Rage 2 vibe there. I was looking for a certain collectible. Where is the stairs? Is it? Oh, it's there. Oh, there's a map there. I should have paid attention to that. Okay, so I've got a bucket. The wall's no longer there. I think we've passed the wall spot. Just a random briefcase just lying around. That's run away. Well, my racing game history started
what do you
off on
think? Do you
Project
like
Gotham.
all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how
Evolved
exactly these
to a bit
features
of
will come
Forza
together
now,
as one single
of Grid.
coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul.
Not Grid.
It's going to
I've
work.
played Grid.
There's
Dirt.
Definitely a good
But
game in
what
there
I'm
somewhere.
trying to get
Say,
hold of
let's do an
is,
experiment. I'll arrange these new features
I think it's
together,
F1
and we'll see whether or
2022,
not
and I'm
it
going to
coheres
get
into a
the proper
meaningful
wheel and
gameplay
everything, and I just
experience.
really want to go to that next level of racing games.
Are you
How about
ready?
yourself?
Here it is. I give you
I'm not sure how to
the
pronounce. Is
Stanley
it
Parable
MaxPad?
2.
Is it 4 and 8? MaxPad. 2D, 3D. What language? Thanks for pausing. Yeah, no, that's.
I mean, there's
that's
potential
awful.
here, right?
Oh,
It's
the other one.
Sort
yeah.
of.
No,
Okay, never mind.
well, you're
Hold
on the right.
Let me do a
vowel
different arrangement.
bit.
Okay, yes.
I don't know what
this
I
is
do
much
if somebody's
better. I feel
naughty
good
like
about
that.
this. Here we go.
If I
Version
boot them
2.
or what? Oh,
Who am I kidding, Stanley?
disappointment.
This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love
you
it.
play F1
No matter how good these gags
22.
are, they
All
won't
right, awesome.
stand on their own.
Looks
They would need
challenging,
the
though.
structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original
does
Stanley
2D,
Parable and
oh,
simply,
cool.
well, insert a few of my new features.
I hope it's got
into it.
all the real
Tastefully,
F1
of course.
mechanics in
With
it,
respect,
like DSS and,
with
and just
care for the
lot,
vision and integrity of the
I
original
really,
game.
I think that'd be cool. Some
Would it possibly
gamer,
work?
some
I suppose
F1
it could,
gamer,
but it would
in
need a
real
really
life got
big,
invited
tremendous
to
title
play
screen.
against
a title
like
screen
to
that says
actually
with
drive an
bold
F1
and
car and race.
uncompromising
I was like,
conviction,
that's amazing. That's
this
how accurate
is the Stanley
some of these
Parable
F1 games
2.
are.
Let me see if I can whip
Shouldn't
something
talk
up.
over this narration.
All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
And it's the end. Yeah, that's incredible, isn't it? Like a gamer, an F1 gamer, actually races in a real life. Stanley, I've got 2 games for the price of 1. There we go. This game just gets better and better. Let's start the Stanley Parable 2. Oh, I've got Assetto Corsa on the PC actually. I just haven't really.
This is the
played
story
it much,
of a
to be
man
honest.
named Stanley.
Yeah,
Stanley worked for a company in a big
setups.
building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple.
Finances.
He sat at his desk
F1 finances. Everybody loses money.
Buttons on a keyboard.
I don't think
Orders
there's
came
anybody
to him through a monitor on his desk,
don't know.
telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order.
Wow.
This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year.
What G-force and
although
F1 drivers
others might have considered it soul-rending,
can
Stanley
undergo. I imagine
relished
it's
every moment
probably
that he
like
was
3G or something, maybe.
Though he had been
4
made
Gs
exactly for this
at
job,
most.
and Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived.
Hate Mondays. Yeah. Oh my God, these
All of
balloons
his
are
co-workers
everywhere.
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
5G.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a
mad.
trace of his co-workers.
These balloons everywhere. This is weird.
Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up. Why was he not doing it?
Where is a bucket? Walk past it something. Oh.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Yeah, I mean, people have all sorts of weird phobias. I knew somebody who had a phobia of pylons. Right, so everywhere we went, we had to avoid pylons, basically, which was a bit strange. And, you know, I'd try and distract her so she wouldn't see the pylons and then just be like, there's a big pylon behind you. And I never sort of got that. That was a bit strange. But then there is a weird horror thing on YouTube with, like, the siren or something. But I've never quite got people's weird phobias of pylons and clowns and stuff. But I'll tell you what, I think what would freak me out is just a balloon. And it's some flashback I've had to like a TV horror or something where there was a balloon just following people. And I don't like just random balloons appearing in places. I think that's a bit weird and following you. So this game is like tailored for me.
Tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Yeah, pylons is strange. My brother has got a phobia of dolls. I don't know if I can call it a phobia. I wonder if that's like a disservice to people who have phobias. But what I'm going to try and do is next time I visit him, I'm going to sneak in a China doll into his bedroom and just put it on the shelf. That'll right weird him. No, that's probably not
Still
fair.
no
I don't know
one was
how
here.
bad it is.
Stanley needed the
thing. I don't
bucket's
know if
warmth
he's just
and comfort now more than ever.
really doesn't like
Perhaps
it
his
or real
boss's
phobia.
office was where he'd find answers.
Either way, I think that's the brotherly thing to do, though. Well,
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the
I'll
bucket
go
walked
upstairs.
upstairs to the boss's office.
yeah. Stanley in the bucket, right. So basically all that's changed is I've now acquired a bucket. Oh, this is going to be your moment to shine, Blaster, when you come out with that code. Siren Head. Yeah, Siren Head. That's weird. That is weird.
Stepping
Well, yeah,
into
I mean,
his
it's cool if
manager's
it's a
office,
real
Stanley
phobia,
was once
isn't it?
again
Yeah.
stunned to discover
don't
not
know.
an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him.
2845.
The
Right.
bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection that Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
Wasn't sheer luck,
the
it was
bucket
blasting.
guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
The bucket's guiding him.
You found one of them. One
yes.
of the miniature Stanley
Hurrah.
figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Oh, I do. You know, that's superb. I bought my dad a Star Wars meerkat the other day with a Jedi lightsaber. Right, it's a Jedi meerkat.
The elevator raced downward,
Doesn't get better
plummeting
than that,
towards
really.
an unknown fate.
And I went round
It
to
would
his
be all
place,
Stanley could do
and it
to
was
keep
in a
himself
drawer.
together,
I was
if not for the
absolutely
bucket.
gutted.
Soothing
I couldn't believe
him,
it.
comforting
Did
him,
I take it
reassuring
back?
that in this darkest moment of uncertainty,
I don't know where
he
it is
would be
now.
all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything
Sorry, I
will
don't.
be fine.
Oh, it's the figurines. That's why I was thinking about that. I'm enraged about it.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, it's the same thing, but this time I've got a bucket, which I'm not. You know, I'm not dissing. The bucket's cool. You need. You know.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
I like meerkats.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley
There's a
cradled it
real
gently,
Douglas Adams vibe
reassuring
to this
it
game.
that
It's
everything
incredible.
would be fine.
In the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, they have this thing called the
Was the
improbability
bucket
drive.
under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had
And
the
when you
bucket been
activate
told
it,
to do things it didn't wish to
the
do?
least probable
What
thing
kinds of
occurs.
things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
So they activated the improbability drive, and a pot of petunias appeared all of a sudden. In the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, it says, what philosophers were most curious about was not that the pot of petunias appeared, was that as it came tumbling down and fell to the ground and smashed to pieces, the last thing it thought was, "Oh no, not again," which many philosophers believe that if we
Screamed
understood
into the
why,
bucket.
we'd
He couldn't
understand
accept it.
the
His
very
own life in someone
fabric of the
else's
universe.
control.
It's
Never!
quite surreal.
He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Oh yeah. Sorry if you can hear me gulping down that coffee. I'm not convinced about that Wally.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded
I
from
don't know
this
what those
very
numbers
place.
are about.
And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided
last
that
time I
this
did
machinery would never again exert
It
its
started a
terrible
nuclear
power
countdown.
over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good.
Turn them off. Oh yeah, Vogan poetry. Oh
Stanley
my
and
god.
the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes,
I'm going to
they
end
had
up
done
misquoting
it.
Douglas
Stanley
Adams
and the
now.
bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support. What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place, not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms, not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room, but at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Oh, this is familiar.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Bucket.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I didn't walk past the bucket now. Oh, I've just... Never mind. Oh, look, there it is. I mean, the bucket can't leave, so...
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Fair enough. Synergize. Oh. I had a competition at work with somebody to try and
Coming
fit
to a
as many
staircase, Stanley walked
corporate
upstairs to his
BS
boss's
terms into a
office.
presentation as possible, and Synergize was one of them. Oh god, I can't. There was loads. There was loads of meaningless sort of IT phrases that we're trying to fit in as well. Oh, what on earth is this? What is that? Executive bathroom. Oh, yes.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
I wouldn't mind having a real-life Stanlerine, actually, as a memento of the game. It keeps saying to me, connecting to chat, so I don't know if what's
Stepping into his
or...
manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any
Your turn to
life.
shine,
What
Blaster,
could it
come on.
mean, he wondered.
What was it, 8?
Desperate for answers,
2845?
he began turning the room over looking for clues that might unravel the situation, until at last he discovered a keypad behind the boss's desk. But Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Oh, New Age music. I used to love this piece by Enya, and then the film Deadpool has absolutely ruined it for me because
Feeling
it's like the
soothed
soundtrack
and
to a
rejuvenated,
mass
Stanley
killing.
calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Okay, let's go for it. Yeah, I've got tons of. I don't think there's enough panpipes in the world. Personally, I do have a penchant for panpipes. I don't know where that's come from. And I've also got myself a kalimba and learnt to play Minecraft on that kalimba badly. I can't remember which Minecraft song it is, but it's the better one. That's a bit new agey, that Minecraft song.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
You guys play musical instruments?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold?
I'll find
Stanley
it in my
thought
history.
to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Hagstrom, I think. Although it's not evident. I think I had to uninstall Chrome, so all my history's gone. Hagstrom, I think. It's a gentle one. Such good music.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to
I
images
wish
on a screen.
I'd bothered to
Stanley,
learn an instrument.
one of them,
I really did.
eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
What's weird is nowadays I turn off the soundtrack to games because I tend to listen to stuff whilst I'm gaming, you know, like and videos and things like that. So I turn off the in-game soundtrack, and I wonder what epic soundtracks I've missed. Like people rave about the one to Polybridge, which I was playing recently.
Too horrible to believe it couldn't be true.
And I don't know if that, you know, if I've just missed the opportunity. Because would I have liked C418's
Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Rated it the way I love it, but I don't know. So
no,
you know,
he refused to
believe it.
Stuff. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's
what
control.
Do you play, Spofty?
Never. It was unthinkable.
Wasn't
it?
Says
was it even possible?
As well.
Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Awesome. I don't know if that's an absolutely identical route that I've already taken through the Stanley Parable or not. We're about to find out, I suppose.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And some movies
had
absolutely been made
he had defeated
by
the machine,
Ennio
unshackled himself from
Morricone,
someone else's command. Freedom was
John
mere
Williams.
moments away.
I just think some of those composers
and yet,
are just
even
incredible.
as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected
really
on
made
how many
such a
puzzles
difference to
still
those
lay
movies.
unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries
Vangelis
did
is
this
another one.
strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, He realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that
I'm going
he
to stop
had been
taking this
seeking,
path now because
but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life
all right,
he
so I've got
lives,
choices
it will
then
be his.
when it restarts,
And that was
unless
all
there's
he
something
needed
glaringly
to know.
obvious, like new
It was
content.
perhaps the only thing worth knowing.
I can.
Stanley stepped through the
Well,
open
actually,
door.
It's open this time. But when it restarts,
Stanley
I
felt
think there's
the
a
cool
door on the
breeze
right.
upon his skin, the feeling
There
of
is.
liberation, the immense possibility
Going
of the
downstairs
new path
instead of going
before
up to the
him.
boss's office.
This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen.
Not sure
And
about
Stanley
the choices.
was happy.
I don't know how big this game is. Oh, Hans Zimmer, yeah, absolutely epic soundtracks. And so I was trying to think who's the composer that I really like. You got it. It's Hans Zimmer. Because is it Hans Zimmer who did Interstellar score, and that was just mind blowing. And his brief for that film was incredible. It was nothing really. The brief provided to me. I'm sure the director said, just compose a soundtrack about the love of a daughter for a father. It was something like that. And then he's just got one of the most epic film scores.
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
Well, that's a bit like, if you read this note, you're an idiot type thing, isn't it? It's a bit weird. But, 19 endings. 24 with a Super Deluxe. Favourite album of all time. That's so challenging. I got the list down to about 75 actually. And that was a struggle, really. There's a program on Radio 4 called Desert
When
Island
Stanley
Discs,
came to a set of 2 open doors,
and you
he
can
entered the
pick
door on his
a
left.
limited number of discs, 5 discs, I think it is. Considering I don't listen to it so much,
This was
and I
not the
would
correct way
really
to the
struggle
meeting
with
room,
that.
and Stanley
So the
knew
Desert
it perfectly
Island discs,
well.
if you
Perhaps
had
he
to
wanted to stop by the
listen
employee
to
lounge
one
first,
album,
just to
and that
admire
was
it.
it. It's such a struggle. I don't know if I can answer that. Well, I mean, you've asked the questions, Bofty. What's your favourite album of all time?
Wow.
God,
Yes,
that's such a difficult
this
question.
room. What a beautiful room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Might even be would I be allowed a compilation in that choice as well?
And so he
Actually, just for a
detoured
bit
through the maintenance section,
variety.
walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
No, I'm not going on track. I'm going left here. See where this takes me. Nowhere. Okay, computer, respect. I only discovered that album recently, actually, strangely enough, on a radio documentary about how good OK Computer was. I was like, I'll listen. Pixies and Doolittle. I'm not familiar, so I might add that to the old list of things to listen to. Done. God, I am like a locust that consumes content. I didn't really want to repeat that ending again.
Coming
So,
to a
I'm not gonna go
staircase,
up to the office.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
But I also don't want to get. Oh yes.
Okay, I'm going back to the
Got
name
really
of these
excited
little
about that
Stanley
figurine then.
figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines
Stanlerine.
and Figlers. What do you think, Stanley?
Ooh.
What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen
I
go
like
up
the
by
name
one.
fig
Let me
leaves.
sit on
It's
it.
easy, it rolls
I'm
off
sure
the
it
tongue,
will
but
come to me.
I think a standarine is probably the better portmanteau, I think is the term. Oh,
But Stanley
well, it might
just
be
couldn't
different.
do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that
Yeah, Joy
risk?
Division.
All because he believed everyone had vanished.
Again, a
His
band that
boss would
I've
think he was
listened
crazy.
to some
And then
tracks
something
from,
occurred to Stanley.
but not
Maybe,
really
he thought to himself,
an
maybe
album
I am
in
crazy.
completeness.
All of my
And I need
co-workers
to,
blinking
really.
mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any
Yeah.
logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange
Couldn't even
observations.
name you a
For
track
example,
off Joy Division.
why
actually.
couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
But
Why
there
did
wasn't there a
doors
film
close
about Joy
automatically
Division
behind
recently?
him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating?
Called Joy Division.
No, Stanley said to
In
himself. This is
2007.
all
I don't know
too
if you've seen
strange.
that.
This can't be real.
If you like
And at
Joy
last,
Division, I
he came
presume
to the
you've
conclusion
come
that
across
had
the
been
film.
on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming!
I think.
He yelled.
Is it?
This
Yeah,
is
Love
all
Will
a
Tear Us
dream.
Apart,
Oh,
which
what a
I
relief
discovered
Stanley felt
from
to have finally
Donnie
found an
Darko, I think
answer,
it was on.
an explanation. His
that's
co-workers
pretty
weren't
cool.
actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he
I think
thought
if
to
I
himself,
picked
suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to
an
go
album that I
back to
had
my
to listen
boring
to,
real-life job
and
pushing buttons. I may as well
I could
enjoy this while I'm
only
still
listen to.
lucid. So he
Yeah,
imagined himself
that's right.
flying
Yeah,
and
Control.
began to gently float above the ground.
This
Then
seems
he
exactly
imagined
the same
himself
outcome as
soaring
last
through
time.
space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared.
Right at the
it
beginning,
was so
so
much
nothing new
fun,
on this
and Stanley marveled
path.
that he had still not woken up. How was he
Unless
remaining
is this
so lucid?
Blaster?
And then
Is this one
perhaps
of the endings
strangest
you're
question
talking
of them
about
all
when you
entered
say there's
Stan's
19
head.
endings?
One he
Is
was
this-
amazed
is
he
this
hadn't asked
an
himself
ending as
sooner.
such?
Why is there a voice in my head dictating
Don't know
everything
if I
that I'm
want to
doing
say
and
yes or
thinking?
no. Actually, but
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me,
possible.
thinking about how it's
a bit
describing my
ambiguous.
thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream.
this is so
How
weird.
could it be?
In
Was
the
Stanley simply
office I
deceiving
worked in,
himself, believing
was
that if
like
he's
this.
asleep, he doesn't
I
have
took
to
a
take
photo of
responsibility
this
for himself?
trolley almost identical
Stanley
to
is
that
as
because it
awake
just
right
stood
now
out
as
as
he's ever
everything
been
else
in
was
his
in this
life.
weird
Now,
matted
hearing the
colour
voice speak these words
apart
was
from this
quite a shock
guy's
to
old
Stanley.
trolley.
After all, he knew for
weird.
certain,
Oh,
beyond a
I'm just
doubt,
going round in
that
a
this was
circle.
in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float
scared.
and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove
Oh,
it.
come on.
He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed
Oh,
his
this is
eyes
long-winded
gently,
actually when
and he
it's
invited
going through the
himself to
same
wake up. He felt the
frustrating
cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back,
path.
the fresh air of
I can't
the
believe I
world
couldn't think of the
outside
word
this
path.
one.
Not path.
Let
I was
me
thinking of
wake
something
up,
more
he
complicated.
thought to himself.
No, I can't remember what the
I'm
word
through with this dream. I wish it to be over.
is. Loop, maybe.
Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all I want.
Sequence.
I want
don't
my
know why, I'm just-
apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Oh, I'm not going down these stairs
Stanley
again.
began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Right.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Oh no. Oh, how long is this?
Mariella woke up on a day
What is
like
the
any
term for
other.
this
She
sequence of events
arose,
in a
got
game?
dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call
there's
for an
a word
ambulance,
for it.
for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew.
I don't know why
I
I find it so frustrating.
And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
So,
It was
you
comforting
never
to
actually
think
said
this, and in a
what
certain
the
way,
one
seeing
favourite
this man
album
made
is
her
that you
feel
take on the
better.
desert island.
But then
What,
she
that
remembered
one
the
album
meeting
is?
she had scheduled
I'm still
for
trying to
that
think
day.
of mine.
The very
I think
important
I'm going
people
for something
whose
like
impressions of her would affect her career,
Jean-Michel
and by
Jarre
extension, the rest of her
and
life. She had no time
Equinox,
for this,
maybe.
so it
There's
was
no
only
lyrics
a
in
moment
there,
that
so
she
it
stood
doesn't
there,
date.
staring down at the body,
I don't
and then
know.
she turned and ran.
I mean, you could argue, okay, computer is timeless. I get that, but you know what? It'd have to be classical music. That is the only way I could do that, I think.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
The
Stanley
ring
decided to
cycle.
go to the
There we
meeting
go.
room. Perhaps he had
9
simply missed a
hours
memo.
of the ring cycle.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
That's my album. A 9-hour album. Enough variety to keep myself sane. Oh, can I? There's a noise coming from somewhere. Aircon or something. Oh, something's very... It's like flapping out now. Figurine Finders committee meeting today. Is that passed or not? I like car boots, and one time I saw a sign for a car boot, and I was madly following these signs through all sorts of diversions. Went about 30 minutes out of the way just to find out it was on a few days before it was.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door.
Now,
on
what
his
did I
left.
do? Right, so they both go to the same place anyway. Come on, come up with ideas, guys. Something different. To I can't be going through that loop again. It's going to drive me mad. Warehouse access plan. Oh, we need more planks. Trust the completionist instinct. A large room, lots of boxes, somewhere both red and blue. Oh, this is so weird. I wonder if... Is that all the same handwriting? No. But that's only... That wasn't there before. Whoa. So it's not Stanley writing messages to himself, is it? Oh, that's new.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Yeah, but there's a broom for a start.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Okay. Well, I don't know about that.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, He's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why?
I
Please offer me some
Twitch is
explanation
going to
here.
auto
I'm
kick this
genuinely
stream because
confused.
I'm just going to leave it there.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
What I'm going to do...
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Slander, for a start. I'm going to leave this
Well,
Xbox
I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now.
Broom closet.
You're dead.
For however long
you got
it
to
takes.
This broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed in front of your screen. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Okay.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No, he doesn't. He wants to avoid that possibility as much as he can.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad, Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
Well, that felt different. That's reassuring. So. Nothing back here. Wow, we've gone quiet on the old chat, so I'm losing. I've lost people. Night night. Thank you guys. Thank you. I think it's well past my bedtime. It's about 2 hours past my bedtime. But yeah, take it easy. And I will see you next stream. I'm just going to try and I'll do one more restart, I think, and then...
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Wow. jump down. No.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Fired. Oh yeah, 104. And who's that? 234. That's a bit weird. 104, 234. Let's make a note of that.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No.
Oh, give me a
He
different
refused
ending.
to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It
Well,
was
not an ending, a
unthinkable.
different outcome.
Wasn't it?
Or
Was
an
it
ending.
even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Okay. I mean, that started off exciting, but... Now, there's a 5. So, where's the 3 and the 4? So, I can't remember. Oh, the 4's up there. So if the 4's up there, I can't get up there. I wonder if I need to put those buttons in a sequence. The 4's up there, 5's there, 3's unaccounted for. Okay. I'm going to power you up this time.
And when at last he found the sword... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
What's up on there? There's a code, 0521.
I applaud your effort, I really
Zero-
do. But you need
zero
to
one
understand,
four two.
there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my
Still don't
story
know where
off
that
track,
3 is.
you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper
So I've
DNA
got everything but 3.
identification, nuclear
There's a
detonators are said to
0521,
explode,
so let's try that.
eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's
5.
say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley?
There's 3.
It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is
2.
much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off.
That first
but what
button press
precious
wasn't
moments
correct,
each
but
one
let's
of
try
them
it.
is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all
5.
this means. I barely know where
If
to
this doesn't
start.
work, I'll try a 1, 2, 3,
What's
4,
that?
5, maybe.
You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I
Okay.
erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that
2.
was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when
3's
I
round
did
it.
I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other
3.
times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone
Saying
inside,
1 now
or
on
I
that
let it
screen.
burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go.
It's making a wrong sound.
But I'm
so
sure
let's-
whatever I come up with
let's
on
follow-
the
we'll
next
stick
go
to the
around
screen
will be
instructions then,
even
so-
better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying
Oh,
this
God.
so much. You know
One.
what? To hell with it.
One.
I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow
Well.
on trees.
They all say
Oh,
one.
dear me. What's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no
4.
idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be
I have
doing right
no
now?
idea what
Or
to
did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you.
That is correct.
Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking
Let's try
on
4.
every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons.
Right,
No,
4.
these colored ones. Or maybe this big
And then
red
we'll try
button.
yellow.
Or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved?
That yellow?
Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
Blue 3.
But you really believe there's an answer? How many times will you replay this bit, looking desperately for a solution? 10? 100? 1,000? I look forward to finding out and to watching the bomb go off each time you fail.
No.
Just you and me and the retching explosion of fire and metal over and over and over for all of eternity. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail
got number
life,
10 on
or
it.
will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Oh, okay. Gutted. God, that's been a long old playthrough, that. I mean, how long has this been? 3 hours. Wow. Okay. And I'm going to call it quits. Oh, I don't want to begin the game again. I hope that's got a resume option. I don't know. Okay, I don't know how. I'm going to check. No, I shouldn't read about it online. Right, that's why I'm streaming over. For anybody who silently left in the stream, I'm going to say good night and thank you for watching. And I will see you next stream. And I hopefully won't be so tired as well. I don't know how to end the stream.